Hey guys, welcome back to Three Swords Productions. If you are new to the channel, I am Steven and this is Nathan. By the way, guys, we are going to be commentating tonight over some games we recorded last week. I believe this is Kid versus Law. This was featured on a recent live stream, so if you've been tuning into those, hey, you may have already seen this game. If not, then tune in every Monday, and we will be live streaming for about 4 or 5 hours, starting at like 7 o'clock, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. But if you're interested in more content that is more geared towards set 3, Giancarlo and I have been posting a huge series on our channel called Test With Me, where we are going through every leader in set 3, as well as some flashback leaders that get some updates from set 2 and possibly even set 1. So if that's kind of something that you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to the channel and definitely follow along. Leave us some comments too, because as we're testing cards, we are expecting to lose games, and we're hoping to make the content better and ourselves better at the game along the way. But enough of that. Let's get over to commentary tonight.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Let's go for it.
Let's go.
All right. Yeah, like we said, this is a live stream game from last week, so this isn't actually us talking, but instead us playing the game from last week. But Steve's on the Law side, I'm on the Kid side. But a lot of Kid in set 1, not a whole lot of Kid in set 2, but it functions, similarly. This is not the film Kid list that we played either. This is the regular Kid list.
Yeah, the film kid list recently popping off. Like I know in MomoCon, it also took down a Win-A-Case, I believe, tournament. 80+ player tournament. Not super huge, certainly compared to the massive Treasure Cups and regionals we've been seeing. But a pretty good event, a nice turnout. And film kid taking it down, placing super well again is really impressive. But yeah, like you said, this is more traditional kid style. You're going to kind of control the early game, grab your refill your hand up, and then in the late game, you're going to try and hide behind possibly one of your big beaters and your wall of blockers as you gain advantage through cards like Raizo, Momonosuke, and take down your opponent's leader quickly with cards like Yamato.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on the Law side, of course, we are playing our very quick build here. It's not playing Dogra, but it is instead, just filled with the set 2 searchers that we all kind of know and love at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get to start.
Looks like a Vista in hand. Early Vista in hand against what you're doing here is going to be pretty good.
Probably, yeah.
So as long as we have Otama and we have a way to kind of flicker the Vista, we're going to have a really good time here. And we're looking at starter Kid there. We can't. Starter Law.
Yeah.
Can't pick that up with Nami, unfortunately. So we are going to be putting that on the bottom of the deck and adding Jet Pistol to hand. Yeah.
That'll be solid in the matchup, probably. Things like Okiku that you need to answer.
Well, cards like Yamato too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Come down and they really threaten because you're going to put, you're probably going to put them behind some Kazuki Tatsukis. You're going to be able to protect your Yamato as it swings with critical against my leader, which is actually really, really effective here. I'm going to lean on those resources to kind of get me through from the mid to late game, and if you're able to deny those with, critical double attacks. That's really powerful. So cards like Jet Pistol are going to get me out of those situations, and I'm happy to add that to my hand early.
Yeah, definitely. And you can actually see from my side the 5-drop Yamato too is definitely a card that you could use it on.
The 5-drop, yeah, exactly. That's the card I was talking about.
Oh, sure.
4-drop Yamato, of course, tapping down characters up to, I believe, 6 cost.
Yeah.
That card is way overpowered. But yeah, Jet Pistol, very effective against both Yamatos, certainly. And let's see, we are going to be trying to fill up our board here. I played this deck right after watching everyone in Arlington pilot Law over and over. And the one thing that I took away from that was that those players were not trying to get an incredible amount of early advantage. They were just trying to throw down as many characters as they could on turns 1 and 2. So they went into their third turn, they had Law's ability every single time.
Yeah, getting to the Law limit, as some may say.
Yeah, and so another thing that I learned was that you can get punished for putting Bonnie on the table too early. So that's why there you saw me correct, and I put down Otama instead of the Bonnie.
Yep, and on the Kid side, we're coming across here, and likely just going to try and throw down the Yamato here. That's about the best card. We can also search 2 times here, looks like, as an option. Maybe hit something like a Captain Gang. Which would probably be the grab here.
Capone Gang.
Or it's the 8-drop Kid.
Add kid to hand. You know,
That's also good. That's
pretty
fair.
threatening, to be honest. So I know that I have X amount of time left on the clock before I'm having to contend with that kid coming down. Also know that cards like Bonnie become a lot more threatening when you have the kid in hand.
Behind the wall, yeah.
Yeah, behind that wall. And that's what it's all about, right? Establishing a wall and then being able to just get resource after resource every single turn. You're gonna draw one for turn, draw one for Bonnie, draw one from Raizo, and then you're defending with you're pitching out for 2-3 cards per turn. But along the way, attack for 9, attack with leader, attack with leader.
Okay, I can consider looks like Kid here or Raizo as both options. I'm sorry, Killer or Raizo as both options. I think Raizo is probably better. Plays around the jet pistol a bit that we know about, while also Vista could be an option that he could just pop with the Killer, so plays around that a bit. As well as just, I have a Momo in hand, so I could draw a card next turn by Momo, tapping it, and then attacking with the Raizo to draw a card. And Raizo's just good to attack down my opponent's board, should he ever leave anything untapped on his side there, which I think is all good arguments, but...
Yeah, Killer Blocker being a lot weaker when you know that I'm going into that Law turn, and one of the cards that I'm looking to bounce back to my hand is Vista. So yeah, certainly not wanting to put the Killer on the table. That would be a little bit embarrassing, I guess. So.
And one of the other things too is that you kind of want to establish blockers once you've established a little bit of a board. And my Nekamamushi hasn't really done that for me yet. It's just going to be a body in the way probably at some point.
Yes.
So instead, I'd rather make sure to get something on the board that starts to pressure instead of something else that just buys me time.
I think that you just called out something that on a gameplay level, I think a lot of people, including myself, struggle with. It's that you don't feel comfortable tapping out against aggressive decks to play your threats on the table, because A, they might answer it. B, you could just end up taking a lot of damage before you're able to do something. So you fall into these traps where instead of putting your threat on the table, you put your blockers down, and that gives you that comfort zone of saying, hey, I'm spending my mana, I'm spending my Dawn, but I know that I can't die because I did this. But what happens is your opponent does exactly what you thought they would, where they attack you a bunch. Inevitably, you spent your turn playing your blockers, so hey, now you're incentivized to use your blockers early. But then on your turn, you're in the same situation where you're still holding that 5-cost threat in your hand.
Yep.
Except now you don't have any blockers to back it up with, so it's so much worse for yourself. And so just what you called out, it's important to hold your blockers back until after you've established some kind of board, and I think that's really important. So, good call, Nathan.
Yeah, it's also kind of the adage of playing to win versus playing to not lose.
Right, yeah, you can be on the back foot for the entire game, and I think against Law, that situation is gonna be the thing that happens. Law is able to just put you on the back foot the whole game. You need to pressure back.
And we're just checking to what the bottom side of Paradise Waterfall is. I don't usually play a whole lot of Paradise Waterfall, but
Paradise Waterfall was a good flip there. So
yeah, go ahead. And
it does say up to a 4-cost arrested character.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the timing there. Zoro is protected from that ability, but pretty good to be able to remove a character.
I'm happy to remove the Bonnie too. It's hidden behind a wall that I'm not going to be able to attack down. So
yeah.
Definitely nice to take it out before you can accrue too much value with it.
Well, I think funny enough, I think you actually could attack the Bonnie down even through that wall. What's funny is that I notice this all the time. Right, is your opponent will have big blocker, small blocker, and then they have already assigned what they're blocking. And so they go, well, my Law is blocking their leader attack. My Chopper is blocking their leader if it gets a little bit too big. And then you just go, all right, Raizo, attack Bonnie. And I go, well, that throws off the game plan.
Yeah. Definitely things like that can be difficult.
All right, and we play Momonosuke and look at the top 5 cards, and we are searching for a land of Wano here. So let's see what we add. It looks like it could be that 5-cost Yamato.
No, I think because I added Kid earlier, and I know you have Jet Pistol in hand still, it should be something with counter power.
Okay.
Would make more sense, I believe. So adding another Momo here would be fine for that option.
Momonosuke here would be a fire. We
looks,
do need to establish some kind of threats in response, though, because right now we're letting Law run wild.
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely feeling like I should just be playing into the Jet Pistol maybe a little bit.
Yeah, you just want me to tap out for that.
Yeah, just
for
kind of
sure.
use it as the answer, and then I'm free after that.
Right, yeah, you get that one turn of, but it costs a lot for Don to do that as well.
Yeah.
So if you're able to swing on this Zoro, take it down, then
And because you know the 8-drop exists too, it's definitely something of like, hey, if you have Otama in hand, then it's answered anyways.
That was an insanely good pickup off the Raizo. That's why we play Raizo, for draws exactly like that. Pick up Nika Mamushi, 2 draws, 2 costs right off the top of the deck. It's going to come down, tap down Jewelry Bonnie. I'm sorry, it's going to tap down Tony Chopper or Nami, allowing you a free swing and another clear on a cheap character there.
Yeah, pretty likely to have that here, I imagine.
And I am countering out, giving you all these cards, not even suspecting the menace that's about to happen.
I'm looking forward to when I misplay and don't do the play that we've set up so hard here.
Well, no.
But,
you only have 3 Dawn left, so it's not exactly like the greatest line right now, right?
Yeah.
But you're relying on the strengths of that Paradise Waterfall trigger off your life, taking down the Jewelry Bonnie. I'm countering out aggressively to keep my Zoro on the table, and so I'm running out of cards in my hand with no real way to restock. So if you were able to go Nikamushi swing on one of the smaller characters with your Nikamushi blocker, I'm left kind of saying, yeah, I lose something here. What do I lose?
Right.
And am I going to lose the Tony Chopper? Am I going to lose the Nami that you're swinging on? Something. But all of those things are happening, and it's going to cost me Dawn to resupply my board. It's going to cost me cards out of my hand, and the only real thing that I'm gaining is possibly a Nami back to my hand.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit difficult for me here.
And instead, yeah, I didn't do that. I left 2 Dawn open, and I'm assuming I'm going to Momo here, which is a weird line.
I believe you're also holding Punk Gibson in hand.
Oh, yeah, I am. Okay. That's not bad here.
Yeah.
Since I think you have Starter Law in hand now, being able to get around something on the Zoro attack is probably good.
Yeah, Punk Gibson's a bit awkward against Law, and if you were against a more experienced Law player, I think Punk Gibson loses quite a bit of steam because you just kind of hold back your Law ability until their two Dawn is tapped, because you can just lose the moment where Punk Gibson is like incredibly effective, right? Unfortunately, I am not that Law player, so Punk Gibson looking fierce against me, but that's okay.
Yeah,
here I believe we're a little bit more distracted with interacting with Twitch chat than we are anything else.
Twitch chat, we're on YouTube, my dude.
Sorry, YouTube. We're out there.
Jeez.
We're out there on the
YT. Out to dry. Yeah, anyways, back to the game, hopefully, here, and I probably pass, and you untap. What are you looking for on this turn here?
Well, I'm certainly looking for another way to pick up my Nami and replay it, because like I said, I did aggressively counter out to protect my Zoro, so I'm certainly looking for restocks here. I pitched a Brook, which I'm not sure if I fully agree with that. Looking back on the game, kind of Brook in these turns here look insanely powerful as I play 2 down in order to just put that exact 2 on the Zoro, which I was going to do anyways. And then that lets me swap, either Brook or Nami back to my hand to put the Starter Law into play to restand the Zoro to swing for 7 again. Those are really, really powerful turns that don't cost me a lot of Dawn because of the power of Brook. Now, I just pitched out with Brook, though. So I lost all of that steam that I could have had, unless I'm holding a second copy, which that would be really lucky of me. But yeah, I definitely don't think I deserve that one, because I did kind of punt that there looking back at this game. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite a punt, but it is definitely, I think, one of the better options.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah, it's certainly not a punt. Like, I'm so far ahead right now.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
It's hard for me to really play miserably bad, but that is one of the things where I can just keep up the pressure, and I am looking at a second copy of Jewelry Bonnie in my hand, making it all okay.
A Paradise Waterfall, I thought did something, but it didn't.
Well, it did. So this reconstitutes me having to play this out onto the table. I'm adding a card in my hand that maybe doesn't even matter, because I actually had enough pressure in hand already.
Yeah, I didn't get a quick look at everything else there, but it's possible it was the only option.
It would have been really, really clutch of me to just use this entire turn to say, no, I'm not adding cards to my hand right now. I'm attacking you. You're losing cards out of your hand this turn, because I'm going to use so much pressure here.
Yeah, and I think that's especially good in the face of what could be a drop kid next turn.
Right, yeah. I want to use up your resources before. And so in my mind, in this moment, I was actually like, well, 8-drop kid's coming down. He's gonna have the ability to protect it. I want to just gain. It's about to be a resource fight, so I want to gain as many resources as possible. I'm trying to also play around the Punk Gibson. All these things. But really, what should have happened instead was the best way to fight an 8-drop kid is just to take the resources down before you're attacking the
Yeah.
kid. So. But that is what that's exactly why we play these games. It's exactly why it's fun to watch them again, is because you see these lines that
Yeah.
and Law is that fun deck, right, where you constantly are looking at your plays and having to re-examine why was this wrong in this situation? Was there a better line? And then that's such a blessing for us to be able to record the games and look back at them.
Oh, definitely.
Because you can see
it's incredibly good.
Yeah, this situation right here is calls for me being aggressive, but instead I'm taking this very passive line. Where I'm trying to get more value, and it just doesn't need to be happening.
Yep.
And Zora comes back down, and we're gonna come in for 8 on the Rhizo.
On the Rhizo.
Well, and this is exactly me sticking with that line of thinking. Hey, we're about to be in a resource exchange. I certainly don't want Rhizo coming across the table when you have a well-protected 8-drop kid. So I'm trying to make sure that your resources are minimal and that mine are maxed out. And unfortunately, I think I did just kind of lose some steam there. Because if that had gone face instead, we would maybe broken you a little bit faster. Yeah, there were certainly some other lines to take there, but that's okay.
At this point, I have to wonder to myself. I still haven't made him. I still haven't forced you to use the jet pistol, so it's still awkward for me. It's still awkward just playing 8-drop. So I think I sit here for a second and be like, okay, I've set up this entire line, and now it's just awkward. But by the point that I've gotten here, that I should have just done something to make you answer with that earlier. Playing out one of the Yamatos might have been just better.
Correct. So you actually are in a situation where I don't think that you can actually.
I don't think so either.
You can't play Kid because I have 2 cards.
Yeah.
Jet Pistol, and I have Otama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are already confirmed, and you've not put me in a situation where I had to pitch out with the Otama. So I have it already. So you really can't play the 8-drop Kid down without some kind of plan here.
I do have the Nekomamushi, so that's an option here to tap on the chopper and force blocks on bigger things. Should I come in with some big swings with Kid, that's a neat option, but that's a buying time option, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So I think at this point you're trying to kill the Bonnie. You're hoping I don't draw another Searcher. I have Nami in hand already though. But you're trying to hope that I just kind of brick for a couple of turns and don't go for the kill. I gotta admit, I think this game is lost.
I think I played this one just straight up terribly, actually. Yeah, and I literally put my hand down, which I have to assume is just me just doing math of what are my attacks here, and what am I untapping with Kid, or what am I attacking with, and then untapping with Kid to use it again, because I have to start answering the board, but it doesn't even matter.
Right, you can try and go pretty hard at the Zoro. Unfortunately, that probably just means I either counter out of it or block with Chopper or just let the Zoro die. I have so many options.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you that the best thing that you can do is probably start swinging with your leader, because your hand looks like it's pretty dawn intense to do any plays.
Yeah.
You are set up well for the 8-drop Kid, but you do not have Otama Jet Pistol, so it doesn't feel great for sure.
You know what would be complete justice is when I attack with my Kid leader a couple times and used his untap ability and pitched the 8-drop Kid out of my hand.
I mean, that would be full respect. Now, this is exactly why we were saying, earlier in the match, you need to kind of force the Jet Pistol if your opponent knows you have it, right?
Yeah.
Or if you know your opponent has the Jet Pistol. If you had, instead of playing that Rhizo out, or I think there was a Momonosuke play, you could have put your Yamato on the table instead. I would have readily answered that with Jet Pistol, but then I'd be 1 Jet Pistol down.
Yeah.
And the tempo of the game also, that means that I'm going a little bit slower on my side. You got a 5 cost out of your hand. It's gonna come up later. And then you're kind of your path is clear now for the 8-drop Kid.
Right.
And these are resource exchanges throughout, from start to finish in the game. It can feel kind of like, hey, we're ramping up towards a resource exchange. But no, I think this game clearly shows that conversation is happening much earlier in the game than you think.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It looks like we're conversing the line, but I think I'm coming across for 6K here.
And that 6K is probably going either on Bonnie or on Zoro. I don't think that you're in a situation to answer the board, but
No, I don't think I can attack your life. I don't. You have 3 blockers out.
I can just take it, right?
Yeah,
like,
right. Like,
no,
you don't even care.
no sweat for me to just go to 0 here.
Yeah, absolutely. So
now, one cool thing is if you were to go face, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna try and kill you on my turn, and then I'm wrong about the math because you put me to 0 and I just let you do that.
yeah.
Now you actually threaten me back.
Well, again, you still have 3 blockers though, right? Like, I guess attacking with the blockers.
Right,
is
but
the reason.
exactly, right? Like attacking with the 2 law is the
Yeah.
pressure that I would need. I would go 7K, 7K, and then do my law shenanigans. And that is like those are the lines that you can kind of get me on, right?
Yeah, I guess. Even so, that's just a.
Well,
it'd be silly of you to go to 0 life, I think, in the first place.
right, but like a well-practiced law player, well-practiced kid player is going to see I have no line here. I'm going to test my opponent. At that point, it's not kid versus law. It's Nathan versus Steven. And that's a real and those are lines that you will see in top 8s like often, like, right, cuz you're not like both players are fierce competitors. They're going to know exactly their lines to win even if that line is my opponent needs to blunder. Okay, how do I set them up to misplay, right? And I think that's important to note.
Yeah, playing to your best percentage outs is definitely
and that's the thing. It comes up in Magic, right?
Oh yeah,
it's like you need
to any card game. I think.
Like what is the line that needs to happen so that I can draw the luckiest I can draw, right? And then you set that up.
Okay. Looks like I took the line of setting up distractions on the board for my opponent, which is taking that similar type line of.
See Momonosuke come down. We have a Rise of the Hand.
It's not an EZO. It's not a 2K, but it does fulfill the same goal of being a 1K in hand.
And Killer's gonna come down.
Probably other Killer, and yeah. Here's the problem.
Second Killer.
Like I said earlier, you can set up this board with these killers, but that's not advancing your board in a way that's reasonable.
And we also know about the Vista in hand too, right? So like that Vista didn't go anywhere. It's still there.
Yeah.
I believe it's not in the trash. It might be in the trash.
You pitched one earlier, but I'm not sure if that's the same one or not.
So it might be gone then.
You could also just have a second one, and that pitch was just a bait of like, hey, it's gone now, sir.
Yeah, I can't tell. It kind of looks like there is a red card underneath the kid, but we'll see. Sorry, I keep calling that card kid. No, that's definitely a Vista on the top.
Yeah, that's
a
Vista.
Yeah, so we have the Vista. It's just about like how best do we play the Vista here.
Yeah. And you've got the largest of grips, and here we go. Start easy.
Oh yeah. I mean, we both have quite a few cards in hand, so we still have some game to play.
Yeah.
Although I will say this one definitely feels lost. But you have such a powerful leader that I have the opportunity to just misplay against you, even going into the late game, and we might see that certain missequences might lead us to losing some value. Now, I did just X-Drake your Momonosuke.
You did, and you know what? It's not even bad. I don't think it's going to punish you.
Well, why I did it is because it turns off the killer ability, right?
Right.
You need 3 characters on the board in order to draw a card with the block on killer, and so by doing that, you no longer have that block. So I establish a 6K, and that block is gone.
Yeah. I think the only thing that would be
that card draw
that would be scary for you is if I were to now, because since you didn't force the block in the first place, if I untap and eventually play 8-drop with multiple blockers behind it, not ignoring the Jet Pistol Atama problem, then I would have killers on the table, be able to block the way for that 8-drop.
Not wrong, except in order to play the X-Drake out, I did pick up Vista.
That's fair. Okay.
So
yeah, it comes back again. Yeah.
So we might even see me pay 3 here for the Vista. I'm unsure. At this point, it's just about like how best do I do my victory lap, right?
I think so, and your victory lap could be it could be 2 turns or it could be 20 turns. It is all up to you because I don't think I have a way out of this game.
Right. The game is, and I have 5 Dawn open now, so I'm kind of considering: do I want to just swing for 7 a few times, or do I want to actually play down the starter law?
Yeah.
To untap maybe Zoro or something, but and establish another 6K body, of course. Now I can see that you're calculating like what are your outs too, because you're not throwing that killer down for nothing, right? You are
Right.
thinking like, hey, if I can 8-drop Kid here, with 2 blockers, I'll have like a beefy board. And
The train of
law.
laws continue.
Ooh, brutal, brutal.
You know what's been like weirdly not doing a single thing this entire time is that Nekamamushi sitting on my side of the table just being
No,
awkward.
I actually don't think it's awkward at all. I think it's fantastic, right? I've just been sitting on Vista in my hand, and I have to hold the Otama because it pairs well with the jet pistol.
Yeah.
So I actually can't get rid of that Nikomamushi. You have a blocker the entire game. It says, hey, I'm sitting here until I want to be used. You
Yeah.
can't interact with me because I'm just a little bit bigger than your Vista can take down. And that's exactly
interesting.
why Nikomamushi is actually like, I certainly don't want to see it in large numbers, but as like a one of in the deck,
Yeah.
it's fire. Like that is actually just such a good stat block that I'm just like, yeah, I mean that's a block whenever you want it.
That's fair. Definitely something to be said about the 4K power.
Yeah, I mean
Against all the res
you
bits in the
saw
format.
I'm sitting on Vista the whole game.
Yeah.
And certainly it's not like a one-time use thing. I can just
No.
put it back in my hand. It's just that I don't have the target for it.
And now that we're back to me, and I have this handful of a bunch of stuff going on, I assume now the play is, hey, we're going to try and test him down to get him lower on life so I can maybe get a final turn to swing in with Kid twice.
See Bonnie come down.
Adding something like a Punk Gibson here would be really good to help that line. So
There you go. Well,
that does make sense.
You wanted Punk Gibson. There it is. Let's see.
I have to assume it's Punk Gibson. Please choose Punk Gibson past me.
It looks like starter. It looks like Law is going to be added to the grip. And I'm talking about how good that Nikomamushi is. Same wavelength. Right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're all here.
Talking about how good that card is.
Come on. You got to choose it. I'm really cheering for my past self here. I'm
hoping
I do one thing right this game.
Nathan on the tables. No, man, it's fine. Whatever it is.
No,
it's all good.
I've learned a lot this game. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really fun one to look back on because both players are they're both doing things. Whether it's the right or wrong thing, who knows? But and you see these decks and why these were top level decks in set 2 because in these situations, like, you need to pilot them well, but they also just kind of like gain a lot of advantage along the way. I mean, certainly we know that like Kid was in a bad situation here. Law really went off, found multiple starter laws.
Mm-hmm.
Found I think I have 1 or 2 starter laws in my hand. I have now 3 set 1 laws, 2 on the table, 1 in my hand. I have an X-Drake. I had Vista. I did a lot here, and you're still in a situation where we're looking at like, wow, if I had played that Yamato on turn 3, I would be fine right now.
Yeah.
And so that's super important to note that these decks are just so very powerful and efficient and good at dealing with anything your opponent can represent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Adding Punk Gibson to hand means I want to leave 2 Dawn open, so 3 on, 3 to untap. No, I'm sorry. 3 on, 3 to untap, and hold up 2. It seems like the play here. Or I miscounted, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, looks like we're coming across for 7, probably at life. Okay, that makes sense.
And I like that because that opens up my line here. And I got to pitch a card from my hand. And oh, look. Beautiful. 8-drop Kid. Going away.
Trash.
Yep. 2 awkward. Doesn't counter. Get it out of here.
And that's 1 Dawn for the killer and 2 for...
Oh, yeah. 1
Punk
Dawn for
Gibson,
killer makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the extra card draw. But you still have Vista, so is that even good?
Well, I am willing to go to 0. This is exactly what I'm talking about, though. Like now with me being at 0, my blockers suddenly matter a lot.
Yeah.
You have the ability to use that Nikomamushi to kind of surprise me if I decide, hey, I want to fall back on a chopper instead.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Nikomamushi you have.
No, you don't.
I've never seen you add that card. You drew that card, after you played Momo and added something else. So very reasonably, I think, hey, you probably bottomed Nikomamushi. I don't know that was the next card you drew. So am I going to play around it? I don't know. I mean, I do have an immaculate grip. So
An immaculate grip. I'm going to put that on your gravestone.
Had an immaculate grip. Probably not the best friend thing to do.
All right. establishing where we're going first here. The Vista's coming down to get rid of the blocker. Don't need the body anymore. This is now the end game. We're closing this out.
We are in the end game. We've assembled the Avengers. We have every slot on the board occupied by a 5 or 6K. We are doing the Lord's work out here. And we are just looking at picking up Vista and deploying the fabulous Supernova card, Starter Law.
Yeah, so you coming in for 9, either force me to take the block, play around the Punk Gibson here, or just take the life.
Yep.
All decent options, but you could Punk Gibson here, but you're not tapping down anything besides the Vista, which is going to be going back to you anyways.
Yeah, and that's actually why I swung like this, because there's never an opportunity for you to Punk Gibson anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just Punk Gibson right now and then 1K out, because that's like I think you can tell that's the best it's going to get.
There's also like a hope of I could, Punk Gibson. I could not Punk Gibson, instead take the life to hope to get a trigger of a Punk Gibson or Paradise Waterfall.
Yeah, I think there's also the line of just straight up blocking either Nikamushi, but like it gets, a little bit tough. I mean, it's already pretty tough, to be honest. So, yeah, you could block with the Nikamushi. We are going to untap that Zoro, swing for 9, and because you are at 0 now, all of my attacks matter here. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. If there's a world where you can counter out of all of these things, then I am looking at having to defend against your 2 12K swings.
I think the thing is that you're doing it correctly and not attacking the blockers till last, because they have the best options available.
Yes,
but you probably just don't.
And that's a Punk Gibson out there.
Yep.
You're actually able to get out of the 9 Zoro by blocking with Nikamushi. And now it's rough, right? I have to just sit back and be like, I think I pass.
Yeah, you just pass. If I attack twice with Kid, then you probably just blocking with the Law's die.
But that's exactly why you swing, put me to 0, right?
Right. No, that was the line, right?
Because I am gonna have to overextend in order to kill you. So yeah. You put me at 0, I kind of have to respect it and go down to 0. Maybe that was misplay. Maybe I should have countered out and stayed at 1 so that I can't die, or stayed at 2 so I can't die. And then I could be aggressive. But because I'm at 0 now, I'm kind of looking to block with Laws here.
I think it's still okay.
Oh yeah.
You still got plenty of decent bodies. Adding Capone Gang is definitely good. I think I have another one in hand, so now we've got 2 things in the way.
Now, can you put that on my tombstone? Had an immaculate grip and a decent body.
Yeah, we'll keep going. And then another killer in hand. Yeah, I can just pop a lot of blockers down, and
you can, and that really it does pressure the Vista, because Vista can only come down twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game is at every moment been hilariously gone. But Kid's still fighting through. The
leader ability is just so good.
I don't feel like I can push really that hard against you. I mean, now of course you're at 0, so you're defending 15K any moment that I want to. That was only the case as of last turn though. So 2 Capone. I know that doesn't feel great, but it looks pretty good from here.
No, that's definitely good.
No, of course, no, it's not. I mean, about the Vista that comes out twice, and then after the other 4 Dawn that are still there. I'm sorry, the other bit of Dawn there is, it's all going to go on my 6Ks, making them 7Ks, and it's just impossible to get out of. So I believe looking at the grip here, that is going to be the game.
All right, force the blocks if you're going to block them. Otherwise, pitch
across.
a million cards from hand. But immaculate grip still here.
Yeah, I have a lot of cards in my hand. I could also just say we don't need that one, right?
Yeah.
We don't need that.
And I got 1 out, and instead, blockers.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, not putting the Dawn in the killer makes sense. And we know he's got Vista in hand, so no reason to keep playing into that.
It's always so funny when you go to the last game against Nathan, and that's what he just has been holding blockers for the whole game. And he just goes, well, here's a full board of blockers.
Yeah, but I got about, 4 cards in hand, so...
Yeah, but I mean, we're at a stage of the game where if I can't get through those blockers for a reason this turn, then you just kill me with your leader on the follow back. So, but yeah, we are just going to, put Vista on the table a couple of times, and I believe we didn't get a Vista ability there. Oh no, we played it. It probably killed the killer. I think
Yeah, it did.
took down the killer.
I think you were just seeing if I would block in the first place, and then you could just pop it. But I don't know if that matters.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So okay.
Oh, you're
Oh,
getting the attack in
to
before
get
character
the
movement.
value.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. To get the value.
There we go. Yeah, that makes sense.
And now we have the Zoro in hand to replay if we want to, if we need to. Yeah.
Attack for 7, and
It's gonna pressure 1 Capone.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Sure.
And we're gonna
I
use
can
2
counter
cards
out,
to get out.
but that's the same.
Yeah,
It's
I
losing.
believe 1 card left, maybe 2.
1, yeah. It's losing always here.
Yeah, for sure. Now the math is not hard at this point. We're just swinging for 7.
The
And
block.
This attack
And
for.
the.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Well, that was a bit of an extended game there, but a
Yeah.
really good one. And maybe the gameplay was a little bit like it was certainly not perfect. But what I love so much about these games that we're recording is that you can go back to them and you can learn so much from watching it. Like
Yes, you can.
obviously you can learn a ton from watching the best player play really well, but you can learn a ton from watching people make mistakes.
From watching yourself make mistakes.
Exactly, you just learn so much, and I feel like I came out of that like having gained so much knowledge about that matchup and situations where like I'm really far ahead. I need to leverage that into more aggression rather than gaining more cards in my hand, because there will come a time in the game where we're kind of going back and forth, and your leader is able to pressure me every turn.
Yeah.
Am I able to do that back to you? I need to get that aggression rolling earlier in the game. So I think I learned that, and I think you learned play around Jet Pistol.
No, I think it's just forcing jet pistol. I don't think it's playing around it, because I did play around it
Yeah.
the entire time. It's just, was that worth it? And I don't think it was. Actually.
Right, yeah, and you kind of like need to like set up your aggression a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I think that was the problem.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, that was a really fun one, guys. Thanks for sticking with us here. But if you enjoyed that content, if you enjoy the commentary, consider subscribing to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
night.